So if I do a short intro, does that count as part of my 5 minutes? Okay, so it's hard to do a talk in 5 minutes. I'm going to try to give you kind of a recipe book. So hard to do in 5 minutes, so I apologize in advance for a lot of points. Start. Okay, so I'm going to start with a word of warning. For those of you who haven't yet got the bug, or have just started, or are thinking of starting a medtech startup in Canada or in general, think twice. There aren't that many success stories out there, so it is a fascinating journey, but it is hard. Think very well if you really want to bother. Here's my bug. Should play or not? No, I was told not to, you see? Anyway, this is my personal bug. It's also a bug in the system, I guess. But that's my son there, demonstrating a hip protection belt, a company that I founded 7 years ago. The product works, even if the video doesn't. And it's out there in the market, which sounds very nice and sexy, but it's still going to be a big challenge to make this into a big success. So why do we actually bother? Why do it if it's so hard, the chances are low? Why are startups trying to do what the big guys aren't? And the reason is because we have to. Because healthcare is not sustainable the way it's going on today. In the US, over 15% of GDP is spent on healthcare. In Canada and other Western countries, around 10%. And it's growing. So if we continue this way, it's not going to work. We're not going to get the healthcare we deserve when we need it. So it's really not a choice. And as much as we like to think that the big guys will do it, the big guys can do small incremental improvements, always with adding more cost. It's our job as startups to find a way to really change the system and break the current equation so we can live a better life. I'm Ran. I am the Startup Services Manager at the Biomedical Zone, and I'll try to tell you how to build a successful medtech startup in Canada. So this is what I hope you take away. So I'm going to have a lot of items, but these are the top 3 that you should, if anything, remember. The first thing is think big. Have a big, audacious goal, something worthwhile working on, and make sure that it's something that others can't do. Startups can't afford to be small innovators. There's no chance of doing it. Or I'd say the same chance of doing a small or a big innovation. Might as well go big. The second thing is build a ladder. So as much as big, audacious goals are nice, they happen one step at a time. So make sure you have a good ladder and do it one micro step at a time. And the third is to remember that startups don't build products, they build business models. So focus on that. As much as we fall in love with our products, we actually have to find a way to treat every part of the business model. Canada is a great place to do innovation, health tech especially. Just look around you in the room and the people you talked to a second ago, the amazing people that spoke here before me. It's a great place to do innovation. It's a land of validation. It's a land of immigration, which means it's a bridge to any place you want to sell to and do things in the world. The Biomedical Zone is a startup incubator and a startup ourselves that focuses on clinical and business validation through a model we developed that does systematic synthesis, analysis, and demonstration of that value. Early stage companies still need that. Our role as an incubator is to challenge the companies and help them grow, doing it one iteration at a time and expand. Practice makes perfect. Dream big. Start with why. Jeff, you took that from me, but it's actually Simon Sinek. So start with why, not with the what you do. Think outside the box. Use your advantage. That's your advantage. Plan for triple and quadruple aims. Think of all the different stakeholders, patients, populations, cost, and caregivers. Don't forget those. You need a good caregiver and happy caregiver to give good care. Identify relative strength. Look for failures. They're the best teachers around. Failures are good. Don't shy away from them. And focus on your weaknesses and find other partners to help you find that solutions for those. To reach the stars, you need a big and good ladder. Use methodologies such as build, measure, learn from Lean Canvas, Lean Startup. Find the right team and co-founders. You're going to live with them for a long time. You better have a beer, enjoy the time with them because they're a big part of your family. Execution is much more important than the initial idea. You're going to pivot several times along the way, so don't fall in love with that initial idea. Do good execution. I know I'm running out of time. Make sure you have enough runway, easy said. Think globally from day one, so don't forget that this is going to be a global success, not just a small community, and don't look for excuses. Last point, build a business canvas. Don't be lazy. Hypothesize about the business, fix it, experiment, experiment, experiment. Be the best person and the expert in your domain. Know what your customers really need and want, sometimes better than they do, and think of it in the framework of what is the job that your product does for them. And last, I'll remind you the 3 takeaways. Start with a big problem. That's what you want to fix, and look at it from the why side. Build a ladder to the success, and build a business model that works. Thank you.